All right, last one here. I know that it's heading up at the end, so it is an increasing question. The degree, it looks like 1, 2, 3, so it's a positive x to the 4. There's 3 terms, so I'm going to say it's an x to the 4, and it's increasing, so I'll put a positive. So when it comes to my roots, I have a 1, 2, 3, so I got a 5, a double 2, and a negative 3. So x equals 5, a double 2, and a negative 3. So when I write my factors, I can say, well, x minus 5, that would work for the 5. X minus 2, that would work for these, but I have to square it to indicate there's double. And an x plus 3. I don't have to add that negative out in front because it's increasing, and my x is x times x times x times x is already a positive. The constant, you can make all of these 0. And if you do that, I'm not going to do that right now. You can check on the notes, but if you make this 0, you make this 0, you make this 0, you're going to get negative 5 times positive 4, which is negative 20, and negative 20 times 3 is a negative 60. So sure enough, down here, it doesn't look like it, but that's a negative 60. All right. Next question. Well, it is eventually heading up, so it's positive. It is increasing. It's got 1, 2, and then you have to remember there's 2 turns happening in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is actually a x to the 5. It's a positive. So if you count the number of turns, don't forget there's 2 that are happening here that you can't even see. So it's a positive x to the 5, which is nice. I'm not going to have to include that negative trick. The roots, I've got one here at 2, a double 1, and then a triple here at negative 2. So at 2, that one's a double, so maybe I'll just write it twice. And then at negative 2, that's a triple. So what would make 2 0? Well, x minus 2, so we'll do that squared. And then the x plus 2 would work for these. These would all make the thing 0, and that's going to be cubed. And I don't have to do anything there. Constant, there's so many here, I'm just going to go 0 minus 2 squared and 0 plus 2 cubed, just to double check. So this is a negative 2 squared and 2 cubed. That's a 4, and that's a 8, which is 32. And okay, well, I guess that's 32 roughly. You don't have to label that, but that's what it looks like it is. Okay. Last one, decreasing. Okay, so this is decreasing. I'm going to have to include a negative somewhere. How many turns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's an x to the 6, and it's negative. There's no funny triple root happening. Just a double, normal, double, normal. Okay, so my roots. I've got a 1, 2, 3. I've got a 4, 2 1s, a negative 1, and then 2, 3, and then 2 negative 4s. Okay, so my factors for this. So x minus 4 would work for this. And x minus 1 squared, both of these, the 1s would make that 0. X plus 1 would work for this. And x plus 4 would work for this, and there's 2 of them, so I'll square it. And I have to include a negative 1 out in front to make this a negative x6, because x times x times x times x times x times x is an x to the 6, but I need a negative there. And I'll just bring it into the first one here. So this will be a negative x plus 4, x minus 1 squared, x plus 1, and x plus 4 squared. So that's what I'm going to do. By the way, you can also write this as 4 minus x if you needed to. And then make these 0. So negative 0 plus 4, 0 minus 1 squared, 0 plus 1, and 0 plus 4 squared. So that's a 4, negative 1 squared, a 1, and a 4 squared. So this is going to become a 1. That's gone and that's gone. So I got a 4 squared is 16 times 4. Is that 16? I think that's 64. Positive 64. Is this thing? Yep, right there. Positive 64. I should just double check here. Yeah, positive 64 and 32 and negative 60. So that is what I did here. Notice for my factors, I didn't include that negative symbol in all of these ones. I might go back and change it here. But it's good to know. I did include the negatives down here when I needed to. So I think, yeah, I included the negative there. But I'll go back to this. I'll zoom out. So if you need to pause it at all and write anything down, you can. But that should be it for this chapter.